everyone, and welcome to a new video here on More MADViews. Now, as you can see, it's only me today. Not having Dev here has been a thing, unfortunately. He's just doing school, but we went to go see a new movie, of course, as we always are going to see new films, new things, and we are going to be doing a tier list today all about Spider-Man. Now, if you guys have not seen our Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review, then you guys are gonna have a treat, and you guys can just go and click right up here, yes, right up here, to see that amazing video. Honestly, we loved it. Just spoiler a bit about that. We loved it. It was a great film, and if you guys have not seen it yet, I highly suggest that you guys go and do that. Now, without further ado, before we hop into the tier list, we also just want to say, please like, comment, and subscribe to us here on More MADViews. We are going to be having a lot more content coming out, as well as our Mortal Kombat gameplay reaction. Of course, a plethora of amazing things coming your way for gaming, for films, for TV, and more coming here to More MADViews. And of course, if you guys have not went and checked out our main channel, that of MADViews Productions, you guys should go do that right now by going and clicking the link down below, heading right there, or you guys can go to our card, which is also down there with all our social media accounts as well as our YouTube. So guys, go check that out and let us know what you guys think of our tier list here, and let us know about all your Spider-Man things. Now, of course, this tier list, if we go now to our list here, it does have all the Marvel properties, but of course we're only going to be sticking with Spider-Man on this. This is a whole other video that me and Dev will be doing with the tier list with all the things thus far, but we're going to be doing that later on, so we have more to play with. As you can see, there's a lot here, but we're just going to go with all the Spider-Man movies. And actually, the reason why we're picking this is the Across the Spider-Verse is also here as well. So, without further ado, let's hop into our tier list here on More MADViews. So, first things first, you know, there are several Spider-Men, and some of them are goated, I would say. Others are not so goated, but we are going to just jump in here directly, guys, and let's hop in. So, first things first, what I'm noticing, excuse me, so first things first, what I'm noticing is we have the Amazing Spider-Man up here. It's not really in the right configuration, to say the least. But let's go from the beginning. So the first Spider-Man, let's just put all of them up here just real quick, you know. And of course we have many different types of Spider-Man. We have, of course, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and now, of course, Tom Holland. But we also have, you know, Miles Morales now. And it's becoming more and more evident that Marvel is pushing towards having Miles Morales also join the fray, and you know, I very much enjoy that. Let us know what you guys think of our picks, but also let us know what you guys are looking forward to in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and what's going to be happening with Miles and all the Spider-Men that are going to be coming into our thing here. As we heard, Tom Holland is taking about a year away from acting, which, as a Tom Holland fan, that's sad to hear. But also for Marvel, what does that mean for us, right? Let us know, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to what you guys are saying down below. But without further ado, let's hop into all these Spider-Men here. So as you can see, there's a total of 9, 10, yeah, I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And of course, he is in the end games. We're gonna leave him out of those because it's technically not his film. Same thing with Venom. He's not in that, besides the fact that he's in a cameo at the end. But let's go first and foremost to the original trilogy. So, first things first, we have the OGs. Now, of course, I'm just putting these in A right now, but just to talk about them. So the original trilogy with Tobey Maguire, a lot of people would think goated. Not for all of them. Some of them had their mistakes and their iffy points. But when I think Spider-Man, I think Tobey Maguire. Mainly because of my childhood and being brought up with the Amazing Spider-Man. I always viewed Spider-Man in that aspect. And he had one of the best suits and whatnot. So I think it'd be a crime not to put the original up on S. Without that, none of this spawns. The second one had its iffy moments, right? We obviously didn't have the Green Goblin, but we had Doc Ock. Now, these are two phenomenal characters, and there's a reason why we were so immersed with them and them joining again in No Way Home. And for me, they are, things that you need to look at and think, look, if we didn't have one, we didn't get the other. If we didn't have one, there's no way we would have got to the point where we were at. So I think, the classic, I have the power of the palm of my hand, moment with Alfred Molina, and of course, Willem Dafoe playing the Amazing Green Goblin. With these two, it would be a crime not to put them in S. And S tier, of course, so guys, just go to the categories. S, God tier. Nothing can touch. A, absolutely amazing, but not God tier. B, kind of in the middle. It was good, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's great, not phenomenal. C, it was good, but it had its issues. D, terrible. Get off my screen. No one loved it. So for me though, see where 3 is at. Now this one, Spider-Man, with the two sides of the coin, as some may say, had its things. It had its moments, and it had its moments that I didn't like. So first thing, Venom. Great, right? In regards to staying to the original concept and it being Venom that we would think. However, the symbiote Spider-Man, good to see on screen, looked cool. Tobey just didn't have good writing on that, to be honest, and he couldn't play too much to it. And then, of course, we know the fight and all the backlash behind it. So, for me, due to this kind of killed the concept and the writer didn't even want to put Venom in, it's a crime to put it in D, but I'm going to put it in C. I don't think anything will go in D, I'm going to be honest, and whenever you make a film, to me it can never be in D, unless there's very major issues with it and I am just hating being there. And for Spider-Man, I can watch it and see all the flaws, but not hate that I'm watching it. I'm still seeing some Spider-Man cool moments, good CGI at times, and other things that allowed me to enjoy the process. So for me, it's okay at its finest. So those are the 3 for me, and then let's go into the second almost trilogy. It's still a crime to me that we never got a trilogy itself. Sorry that I got pushed up there, guys. But for these, now, for me, these two, I get the hate, kind of, in the fact that it was a different type of Spider-Man. It was a Playboy-esque Spider-Man. It was more Batman-esque, I would say, than our classic Spider-Man. He did have his nerd moments, but mainly it was almost like a Playboy-esque Spider-Man. And for me, Andrew Garfield gave that zingy, that quippy, that throw everything back in your face type Spider-Man. And that's kind of where Tobey lacked at times for me. even though Toby gave us the nerd and, you know, the one that you wanted to see beat up the guy, you know, in the cage of being Macho Man Randy Savage, you know, and you wanted to see him, like, overcome all the odds. For Andrew, you already thought he can overcome the odds because he was just that gritty and that, like, you know, more, I guess you can call it emo-esque and more, you know, Playboy-esque, like I said before. So for me, they were both good. The only issue that I had with 2 is it became too much. They added too much to the story to push the narrative. And that's what leads me to leave it in B. Actually, not even B. I'm going to put it in C. It did have its issues, and it did have its moments. But as for Electro, it was okay. It was good. And for me with Lizard in the first one, and the whole story between that and, of course, Gwen and all things like that, it pushed it up. It was a good story to be told. For me, that's B. This one I'm actually going to put ahead of the other one, only because, of course, we have the Gwen scene and stuff like that, that leads to him going down a terrible, terrible road. And I wish we could have continued that, and we do later on, but I don't know. I still don't feel like it's resolved, and it's a shame that we didn't get more. But as for a middle movie, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. So it needs to stay in this category, unfortunately. But for me, B is a nice place to put, you know, the first one. You know, we had a very heartbreaking scene, and we saw, you know, Andrew goes through some crazy things in the first one. But we also saw him kind of lose Gwen, gain her and also lose her, and that hurt. And then for them to, you know, reconnect and it all to happen and lead towards what happens in the second one, it's good. I just wish we had more. And, you know, that's never a bad thing. But when it comes to it being overly packed and some plot issues and stuff like that, it needs to go down, unfortunately. But again, guys, let us know what you guys think down below. And now, of course, we have the most recent trilogy with our Peter Parker, which is that of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man. So, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man, we have some crazy things happen in these 3 things. And many of you guys were saying he's kind of like Iron Boy. He was not really Spider-Man. He was, you know, Tony Stark's little lackey puppet. You know, I've heard many of things for Tom Holland's Spider-Man until the very end. But I think it had some amazing things happen, and he grew into the Spider-Man we know and love. And I cannot wait to see where they take us next. Now, we don't know when next will be, of course, when we're hearing about Tom Holland's acting journey, as well as, you know, what's next for the MCU. So let's put a pin in that for now, but let's jump in to these 3. So, in the trilogy that we have had thus far with these amazing actors, Tom Holland really stepping into his own and becoming something incredible, mainly because of these Spider-Man things, and in between doing things like you know, Devil All the Time and you know, Cherry Bomb and all sorts of other big movies. I really like Tom Holland. I'm hoping that after the year hiatus he comes back even better. It would be lovely to see. But as for Tom Holland in Homecoming. So Homecoming had a huge twist in it where we actually saw him with someone who wasn't Gwen, with someone who wasn't Mary Jane, but allowed us to also play with the Vulture a bit. And we barely see the Vulture. In fact, we didn't really see him on screen, right? So it was lovely to see that, but it also gave us more for Tony Stark, and allowed us to get more connected with him, as we know would happen to Endgame, and of course the turns and twists that lead into all the very complex storylines that the MCU brings us. In the long haul, and looking at it from hindsight, it gave us good prologue-esque stuff. However, I think that Homecoming had some issues. It had issues with trying to add too much into one story. Had a nice little new way to look at Spider-Man, but also allowed us to really speculate of what's next. But it did have its issues in regards to establishing who Ned is, establishing what this whole connection is with Spider-Man, and who is Spider-Man. This Brooklyn guy, but no one really knows him. He's a webhead. Who is he? I guess early days it kind of makes sense, and of course it goes based off some of the storylines and comics that we've seen before, in regards to the first year, first class, stuff like this, of which Spider-Man is only just beginning his journey. So I do understand it, but I do understand the flack. So for me, this goes into B category. It's not because I dislike it, because I don't. I can watch Homecoming as many times, and it has one of the best boat scenes I think ever. And they also play towards that in other variations that we will soon talk about. But for me, it cannot go higher than B. It is a great movie, but it's not phenomenal, and it's not God tier. I am sorry, guys. As for its predecessor, Far From Home, it had its moments, it had its things, and we knew Mysterio was a bad guy, but it also gave us what we always wanted. It gave us no, I'm joking. It gave us Zendaya and Tom Holland. It gave us Mary Jane Watson and Peter Parker. Even though it was only the first steps, it gave us what we wanted. And I feel like we could have had more here. We could have pushed it more with the envelope. And I think we could have also played with some stuff from what we heard in Homecoming, such as the Prowler and these other beings. But I am glad that we got Mysterio on the big screen, and just a phenomenal job by Jake. And I feel like overall, it does have its good moments, but it had moments of what's going on. Who are the elementals? What is this? Of course, they tie it up into its projections and stuff like this, and it had some amazing scenes, especially with those glasses and all. But it also asks the question, this seems like part of a story that we could have more of. It almost seems like a one-off issue of a comic book. And for me, it just doesn't measure up to anything huge, but I feel like it does hone into a bit of what Homecoming was going off of, but also leads to but yes, so overall I feel like Homecoming does jump its predecessor just by a bit, just for the amount of storyline that's told. But Far From Home definitely stays in that B category. And then in comes the one that everyone has been talking about for a very long time, and what we've all wanted. Far From Home had its moments. Homecoming had its moments. But No Way Home gave us Spider-Man we know and love. Mysterio outs Spider-Man at the end of Far From Home in an amazing credit scene, and overall probably one of the best in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a comic book lover. But what leads to the comic book love and the Spider-Man aura, and who we always wanted Tom Holland to be as Peter Parker, that's in No Way Home. And for No Way Home to have both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and all the villains, and allow us to see the Sinister Six be who they are. There's no way that I cannot put it up here. We get everything, and we get a new view of Spider-Man in a nerdy way, but also in a Playboy way that allows us to feel for Peter. And we get one of the most beautiful cinematic scenes I think I've seen in a very long time, especially in a comic book-esque movie, with him crying on the signs and seeing J. Jonah Jameson, of course, always bantering Peter Parker, but also him crying, and then all these Spider-Man come down. With great power comes great responsibility. What an amazing view. And also the fact that we also get to hear the famous words that Stan Lee came up with in the original Spider-Man comic book, that of course Aunt May comes up with. And I don't think it can top any of that, guys. Honestly, such an amazing trilogy. To see a boy that we thought had just a lackey to Tony Stark to then overcome and become the Peter Parker we love and adore. I feel like it needs to top these. Only because we also see Toby, and we also get all three, and Tom just really brings that dramatic thing home with every villain. It just gives us goosebumps, and for me it actually tops the original, unfortunately. And now we have the ones that aren't really too old and not too new. One of them, it's clearly right out right now, and I suggest that you go and see it. But now we move on to Miles Morales' story in the Spider-Man SpiderVerse Sony Pictures. Now, if you guys have seen most of this video and you guys have not seen Across the Spider-Verse, please click off now, as I'm going to hop into spoilers. But also, if you guys want to see our reaction, please go up in the corner and check out what that entails, what we thought of Across the Spider-Verse, and what we think is going to be happening in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Alright, so you guys have had enough time. Let's quip our way over to, our way over to the Spider-Man SpiderVerse trilogy, or that of a, series for now. So, first of all, Sunflower, and the amazing soundtrack that this leads us in, and also just the amazing animation that is brought in with these movies is phenomenal, and everyone should be very, very thankful for the amount of time and effort that goes into making these movies, and why we've waited so long to have them, but also the fact of they're shooting them out pretty quickly, when you think about it, with all the animation style and stuff like this. The original of these two, where we first got inducted into Miles' story, and also the fact that we get to see the Prowler, and we get to see Gwen and Spider-Ham, as well as Spider-Noir, and Peggy, which is that Spider-Man from the robot Spider-Man, and just getting us a little band of spider people is beyond incredible. And like I said, they have their own styles, they have their own things, they have their own comedic moments, their own epic moments, and it literally brought the comic book to the screen. And it was a new thing. It was great. It is eerie on the eyes and is hard to view because of the 12 frames per second that Miles was originally in, and then what it usually is 24, which we then see later and it becomes more epic. But it was a blast of color to the eyes, which is good, but also you can't watch it all the time. For me, it is a great movie. It is one that's allowing us to see into a different lens, a different medium of movie for Spider-Man, but I feel like this is a perfect thing for Miles to jump off of, and what I'll lead into for Across the Spider-Verse. But for me, the first one goes into A. It is great. It is a good movie. It's amazing. Amazing Spider-Man. But it doesn't have that extra dramatic layer. Okay, the Prowler dies. Understandable. Aaron Davis of Miles Morales' story is a huge part of his story. I agree. But it doesn't have the same dramatic feel that Aunt May has in dying, that Uncle Ben has in dying. It doesn't have that. And it doesn't have the amount of layer and storytelling because of it being the first movie to us seeing in Miles Morales than anything else. It is a good, very good, I would say, introduction, but not at God tier. However, its predecessor, in Across the Spider-Verse, gives us more dramatic feel, gives us more character development, and allows us to see people like the Vulture from Shakespeare's time. It allows us to see Miles Morales and Gwen get closer and feel connected. It gets us so many different Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2099. O'Hara just as Oscar Isaac, it's just phenomenal. And then of course we have Scarlet Spider, we have MK11 Spider, we have literally all sorts of Spider-Men and Spider people and Spider things in this, that is literally a love letter to Spider-Man in general. But then we also give Miles a choice, that things need to happen for their story to be told, that people need to not exist for the Spider-Man to exist, and this is a heartbreaking thing, but something that we sadly know, right? In all these iterations, Spider-Man only becomes Spider-Man because of his great power and responsibility, speech, that may come by Ben, by May, by whomever it may be, the Prowler, whomever it may be, right? But we also have moments of heartbreak when it comes to, yes, Uncle Ben dying, May dying, Peter dying, how the Captain always dies when it's Gwen's story. And these fixed moments, these canon moments that we were hearing in the Spider-Man verse. This is something that allows us to feel as if I don't know what side to pick. I'm heartbroken that Miles is heartbroken, but I'm also heartbroken that Miguel O'Hara cannot be with his family because of these events. Who do I pick? Who do I trust? Who do I want to see succeed? And now the fact that we're going to be going into Beyond the Spider-Verse next year and leaving us on that cliffhanger of, is Prowler going to kill Miles? Is Miles from that dimension going to kill Miles from this dimension? Is Spider-Man going to exist in that reality? Is his father going to die in his own reality? What's going to happen? And is Gwen going to end up with Miles that we've never seen before? Is Miles going to end up with Gwen that we've never seen before? That's a huge question, and one that I cannot wait to see. And I hope that Haley Steinfeld as Gwen, I wish she can stay as Gwen. Unfortunately, she is the new Hawkeye with being Kate Bishop in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But her performance in this, as well as the actor that played Miles Morales, name here, honestly, I want to see them succeed, and in this I cannot wait to see. And it's also tying into now MCU stuff with, of course, seeing Childish Gambino, join us, which is always good to see. So I don't think I can feel good with myself if I don't put it up here. And you guys are probably saying, whoa, Matthew, enough, man. There's no way. Yes. Great live action. Allows us to feel every comic book and thing that leads us to, everything with Mary Jane, tying all the ties and stuff like this. Yes. But this gives us both. This ties into this. We see moments of live action. We see moments of comic book. We see, literally, like I said, a love letter to Spider-Man in our universe, in their universe, in every universe. Where we see Insomniac Spider-Man. Where we see Spider-Man that's a horse, Spider-Man that's a cat. We see Spider-Man that's a little baby. Like, it just doesn't measure up, guys. This is incredible. This is an incredible live action, and I can watch this 100 times, but it needs to stay on God tier. And for me right now, and it might be that I seen it not too long ago, but Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is something that allows us as comic book lovers, both in animation and in live action, to hope for something incredible. When we see Miles Morales jump in to this arena, but also can jump back to this arena, there is nothing that will touch that. Because you'll have all 4 Spider-Man in one universe? Excuse me? The main 4 that everyone have been talking about. Of course, there are many other Spider-Men in the Spider-Verse. But everyone knows Miles Morales. Everyone knows Peter Parker. We've had 3 Peter Parkers. 3. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland. As we know in our live action umbrella. However, by us opening that door, the possibilities are endless. By us going into that comic book arena that is the Spider-Verse, we can have Miguel O'Hara. We can have Scarlet Spider. We can have Outlaw. We can have Tarantula. We can have Venomous Spider-Man. We can have all of them. So why not? Why not see where that leads? And especially, we might, who knows, what's beyond the Spider-Verse. I guess we'll have to see very soon. But let us know what you guys think of our list over here. And if you guys would switch anything, please be copacetic downstairs. But overall, that's our list, guys. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this list of our Spider-Man ranking system. Of course, like I said, we are just privy and privileged to have these many Spider-Man movies, and we will be jumping into all our Marvel Cinematic Universe movies eventually. But let us know what movie you guys want us to do next, or series, and we'll jump into these tier lists as something we want to do with MADViews tiers. So let us know what you guys think, and we cannot wait to hop into another one with you guys. If you guys have liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to check out all our social media down below and our main channel, MADViews Productions, where we do films, TV, and so much more. So guys, definitely go check that out, and there's many more things coming there too, so subscribe there too, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe over there too, what you guys think of our films and stuff like this, and also let us know what you guys want to see next here on more MADViews. Like I said, Mortal Kombat stuff coming, all sorts of movie stuff coming, there's reviews coming, there's all sorts of gaming stuff and other things that are coming to MADViews. But of course, we also want to just send a huge thank you out to you guys. You guys have been very supportive, and we are going to be having many more things coming just as MADViews and the umbrella itself. So guys, definitely keep it locked here to more MADViews. And I promise Dev will be back very shortly and soon, and it's going to be a great time. So thank you guys for being on this journey with us, and don't forget to always see our